Alrighty, here we go on the first Thursday of the month of March. An absolutely perfect day to talk all things Gannon Athletics. Welcome, everybody, to a new month. Welcome, everybody, to the stretch part of the season, and welcome, everybody, to one of the two most exciting times of the year when it comes to college and Gannon Athletics. This is the United Podcast, brought to you by our friends at the John Russell Hospitality Group. We are back in here tonight, back at the UKnighted Tap House. Happy to be back with you yet again after a couple of months stretch at the John Russell Brewing Company. Just a perfect time there. If you haven't checked out that area on Peach Street, make sure that you do. It's got great food, wonderful atmosphere, and everything you could possibly want as we get set in stone for the month of March. It, of course, is St. Patrick's Day month coming up. We have playoffs abound, so much to look forward to as we get into the end of winter and the beginning of spring, and we start seeing, hopefully, the weather warm up over the course of the next couple of weeks. Busy show for you tonight. It is essentially our winter sports mega preview postseason extravaganza. We have men's wrestling joining us live on the show tonight. We'll preview a little bit of what you can expect for the weekend in men's and women's basketball. And, of course, Bella Phillips getting set to, at this moment, about 12 hours from now, wrestle for the first time ever of any Gannon women's wrestler at NCAA National Championship. So much to look forward to on this show. Top 5 plays of the week coming your way as well. Dish of the day we'll get to in just a moment. So busy show on tap. Let's not waste any time, shall we? Back here at the Tap House. Again, thanks to our friends at John Russell Hospitality for being our sponsor of this show. We're going to start right with our dish of the day. It is a good one for you to start the month of March as we roll along into our first for this month. All right, our dish of the day for this Thursday to begin the month of March. It is a good one, like I said. I'll tell you what, the UKnighted Tap House, UKnighted Pubs, they continue to always do a great job of making sure that they have exactly what you need for our dish of the day. And our dish of the day today is a bit of a different route than what we've sometimes seen with the flatbread and things like that. How about our Guinness cheese fondue? Part of a March menu and Lenten menu that is just delicious. I'll tell you what, fondue is one of the more underrated parts of the menu that they have here. I'm going to hold it up for you so you can see nice rolls, some apple, and the fondue there in the bottom. Kenny Kaiser, in a minute when he comes on the show, is going to eat this for me after he's all done, so I don't have to sit here and loll about it for the next 40 minutes or so. But what an absolutely perfect way to kick off the month of March. It is our dish of the day, the Guinness cheese fondue. You can get it while supplies last every single evening at the UKnighted Tap House. And, of course, make sure to visit all of the UKnighted restaurants across and around Erie County. All right, let's get into what we have going on today. What a busy weekend it was last week as we start getting ready for the winter sports playoffs. We've seen so many teams do so many amazing things, right? We started off with men's and women's swimming having a strong showing at PSACs. Women's wrestling seeing Bella Phillips into the national championship, which we'll talk to in a few minutes from now. Other winter sports doing wonders, acrobatics and tumbling starting off their season strong. Spring sports starting off their season strong, as did competitive cheer and dance. But maybe the big highlight of the weekend was what we saw in East Stroudsburg on Saturday, because I'm not sure that we have seen, and maybe we can ask Coach Tom Boyd this in a few minutes, a more dominant display of wrestling across a one-day tournament in the history of men's wrestling. That's how good the regional was for this team right here. You can see all of the hardware that they had this past weekend. The victory with the team championship, 7 individual regional championships, and 9 of 10 heading to nationals at NCAA's coming up next Friday and Saturday in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And just today, we found out some other great news as well, that for the first time this season, Gannon Men's Wrestling by the Open Mat is ranked first in team tournament rankings, which is what matters this time of year. So the Golden Knights, one of many teams that will be competing for that team championship, but they are locked, loaded, and ready to roll heading into national championships coming up Friday the 13th, Saturday the 14th. Only good luck on Friday the 13th and beyond here from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We'll be with them every step of the way. One of the guys who was at regionals, did well, and is qualified for nationals is this man, Kenny Kaiser, who we're calling the Cardiac Kid, because that's what he was over the weekend, Kenny. We're going to see some of your top plays a little bit later in our top 5 plays of the week. But first of all, just take me through what last week was like and the way that you guys just dominated. And we talked about the 7 individual regional champs, 9 sent to nationals as a whole. This team just had it from sun up to sundown. How exciting was it to accomplish the goals that you set out to accomplish?
We've been talking about it really all year and how we're just the best team, either on paper or just on the mat. Either way that you splice it, like the rankings may not have shown that, but I think after this weekend, it really, really did prove that we are one of the best teams, if not the best team in the country right now.
We've talked a lot about this season, your lineup from top to bottom, right? And just the fact that everyone, even some of the guys who maybe didn't have a perfect day, right? You have a lineup that 1 through 10 is going to compete against anybody and really, in your mind, dominate anybody. How impressed were you just with the consistency of the way the team performed over the weekend, that it seemed like every guy was just following the next and having more success, if you could hardly believe it, than the guy previous?
I think what we build off is momentum. One guy like Logan, honestly, it was Pat and Dorian who start the day off, but typically Logan starts off, he usually starts strong into Jerry, and it's just this momentum, the snowball effect, and it builds and builds, and the energy that we have is just contagious for at least us, and that's the important part.
You're taking a look at some of the finals highlights. Kenny, you're going to be featured in this as well. I want to ask you individually, the reason I wanted to have you on is because your run was, I think, the most dramatic and the most exciting out of any of them, right? You've been open and honest, and you were with me afterwards about some of the struggles you had early in the year with an injury and just trying to get back that confidence that you had at the end of last season. Then you get to the semifinals, and it's a sudden victory win. You have to get that takedown late when it seemed a couple of times like you were in a bit of trouble. And then in the finals, you get that late takedown with seconds to go to end up claiming the regional championship. What did it take for you to get to that point where you had confidence to be able to win this thing this season?
It's a trust in myself and my training, and really just when I'm in those situations, I'm like, your mind's racing, and I'm thinking, I gotta find a takedown, I gotta take the shot, I gotta do this. But really, at the end of the day, it was like a muscle memory. Just 8 seconds left, like in the finals. I just need to take the shot, and if it happens, it happens, and we got it done.
You know, it's amazing you mention the muscle memory that you have, right? Because in those situations when you're in win or go home, right, with the sudden victory decision that you had or the late takedown, if you don't have confidence, you're probably not taking that shot, right? What has allowed you to get that confidence back this season as you've gone along and ultimately come away with that victory?
I guess in all honesty, like when I started this latter half of the season, I came in, I was ranked 3rd, and like I was just like this ball of like, I have to maintain this ranking. Like I never look at the rankings because it always messes with me a little bit. But after I took that first loss to, who was it? I can't remember the name, but it was kid from Lake Erie. Yeah. It kind of just like, he wasn't ranked, so my ranking, as far as I know, just got slaughtered. Pressure was off, and that felt really good. And then the same thing after I lost to Sarbo at the Pitt Johnstown match. Like that pressure was kind of off. Like when I see him at regionals, he's expecting to beat me, and I had a different mindset walking in. I wasn't just going to be this flurry trying to take 15, 20 shots. And I think that really just helped. I think it's a little weird. Like most people wouldn't think that would be positive for him. But having that weight off my shoulders really helped me.
Yeah, almost wrestling free, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And it showed in the regional. You end up being one of 7 champions, and now you get ready for national championships. Because I know this is exciting. Ultimately, though, you're gunning for what comes next week. As you get ready for Sioux Falls, there's a lot of rankings, a lot of numbers, as we've talked about, right? You're number 1 in the country by the open mat coming in. You flew up a lot in the rankings. We saw guys like Holden Hune, who weren't in the rankings before, all the way up to number 7. Dorian has done his thing. Jake Niff has done his thing. Grant McKay there as well. And that, of course, isn't factoring in any of the other guys that are also qualifying. What's the key to putting that noise aside as you prepare for the next 7 days getting ready for Sioux Falls?
I just look at the next day, the next practice. I'm prone to thinking days, weeks, months in advance, but I don't have days, weeks, months. I have the next practice. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. What can I do to make sure I'm ready, whether it's my diet, meeting with Dave, get my body right, or just working hard in practice like I do every day.
This team is so close to each other, and if you're around the team, you know that. But for those who haven't been around the team at all this year, what's that bond been like this season? For a lot of guys, let's be honest, that transferred in here, right, or freshmen that have been here for the first time. What's been the key in formulating that bond and keeping that bond all season?
I think one of the big things that, like, a ton of our starters are staying either in the same house or our neighbors. And so, like this week, I mean, it's only, Wednesday today. Monday and Tuesday, I was hanging out with them, and we're just together all the time. And it's that brotherhood, that bond of going to war every day against each other. It keeps you tight.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about your coach, who's not going to want to talk anything about this accolade, but so I can ask you. Coach Tom Boyd named the NWCA Super Regional 1 Coach of the Year. I know he likes to keep those things on the down low, but, you know, between Coach Tom Boyd, Coach Jeff Boyd, they've been such a big part of this as well. I'm wondering if you could just take a few seconds to just touch on, if you would, what they've meant in your journey and the team's journey this year.
For this season specific, just the way that Coach, we'll start with Coach Jeff Boyd. He came in and changed up not everything, but he has a different mentality, and it was almost like a mixture of Coach Tim Flynn from West Virginia and the Citadel training combined. And I think that's something that's really propelled our team. And Coach Boyd, during the matches, before the matches, he's always so confident. Even when I didn't have my confidence, he had all the confidence that I needed and the team needed to be the best we could be and be the champions, and that we know that we are.
So Sioux Falls are getting ready to go on the road in about a week. I know the goal is to have success on the mats, but you get a chance for some team bonding as well. I heard you and I were talking before the show that you get one team bonding activity beforehand. And I hear that there is a specific destination that you are going to be vying for, and I imagine some of your other teammates are vying for as well. Is that right?
Yeah, I really just think if we're going to spend time together, what better place than the Corn Palace in Sioux Falls? It sounds like the best thing that we could do, honestly.
So for those of you who don't know, there is a literal, it's like a corn mansion. Anything you could want on that topic in particular, and that food is there. And I was actually there a few years ago, and I don't remember much about it, but I was telling Kenny I really would love to see the scene if there was a corn box that you see at some of those fall festival places. And just seeing you, I don't know if you guys would leave a kernel in there. That would be like, fall girl, girl fall or whatever. It would be men's wrestling palace at the Corn Palace. So that might be something that you guys take on. And if that's the case, we're definitely going to film it for you because we can't wait. But I bet you guys are excited nonetheless to just be there, to be with each other, and really a culmination of what you have trained for this season.
Yeah, I'm like at regionals, we were just so excited. Every match and every round, everyone was on the corner cheering, and just when no one was wrestling, like during the Concy rounds, we weren't wrestling other than Dylan, and we were all just hanging out, having a great time before the semis started. And I can only imagine the same thing's going to happen at national. So I'm excited for that for sure. No
doubt. A little further of a trip for you guys, but you wouldn't have it any other way. Kenny Kaiser, one of 7 regional champs and 9 guys that'll be competing, man. Can't wait to see what you guys do. I'm going to be there with you as well. We'll have updates throughout the tournament on social media and on our website. But, man, have a blast, have fun, enjoy the Corn Palace, and wrestle well too, I suppose. Great stuff, Kenny.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
At John Russell Hospitality, every restaurant tells a story of flavor, community, and unforgettable moments. From handcrafted meals to welcoming spaces, we bring people together around a table. John Russell Hospitality, where great food meets genuine companionship. Make sure to visit one of our 6 locations today. All right, as we get ready to bring on Coach Boyd, here's a look at what's on tap for this upcoming weekend. As you take a look again at Kenny Kaiser in that picture that is so iconic, many pictures that were iconic with men's wrestling last weekend. They get a week off. I say that in air quotes because they're practicing hard for national championships. But nonetheless, the postseason continues as part of our mega winter postseason preview. Men's and women's basketball gearing up for the weekend as they are getting set not just to compete for PSACs, but also compete for the regional tournaments. And we hope that both men and women will be hosting said regional tournaments coming up in a week from now. So make sure to stay tuned to our website for more information on the games that are coming up. Women's wrestling is at national championships. Bella Phillips just moments ago taking off on that plane to get ready for her 180-pound bracket. The 7 seed, Phillips, just a sophomore, is the first Gannon women's wrestler in history to be an NCAA national qualifier. Of course, this is the first year that women's wrestling is part of the NCAA championship sports scene. So that's going on Friday and Saturday. We'll have live updates for you from Coralville, Iowa, just off the campus of the University of Iowa. Acrobatics and tumbling in action as well. They'll take on the second-ranked team of the country, Oregon. A&T fresh off of 2 straight wins at home, looking to spring the upset of the Ducks before they return home coming up next week for a couple of big home matchups as well. Baseball, softball is in action as we speak. Baseball had a doubleheader or a tripleheader they were supposed to have Friday, Saturday, Sunday get moved. So it's a doubleheader tomorrow, a doubleheader on Sunday, no games on Saturday. Meanwhile, softball is in action from Wednesday all the way till Monday as part of the Space Coast Games in Melbourne, Florida. They'll have 8 games ranging from now until the end of the day Monday. So nonetheless, lots of excitement going on. And this man, Tom Boyd, joining us on the program tonight after, and what a weekend for you. I don't even really know how to describe what the weekend was. And I know you and I have talked about it a lot, but off the air. Just run me through what that weekend was like for you that day last Saturday and the dominance that you really put on in the one-day tournament.
Well, we had a ton of energy, a lot of excitement. The guys really stepped up. That's what we had planned on doing. It's always nice when you execute what you've worked on all season. Really proud of the guys. They really performed. We wanted to peak at the regional tournament and then in the upcoming national tournament. And I would say that we hit our first stride spot on.
So I think you're equipped to answer this question because of the history you have with Gannon Wrestling and your relationship with Coach Henry. Has there ever been a more successful one-day period in Gannon men's wrestling history, just from your perspective in terms of everyone in the lineup having the success that they did?
We've had a lot of great teams, a lot of great alumni over the years where we've had great moments, great days, great performances. But I'd say a single-day performance, winning 7 of 10 weight classes, 2 runner-ups, and just about getting number 10 out, I'd be hard-pressed to say that we've had that kind of moment. It was quite a day.
No doubt. And I was talking to Kenny. Everybody fed off of each other, right? And they do. You expect that. But how early in the day did you get the feeling that it was going to be a good day? Because I think you probably get a sense pretty early on of how your guys are feeling after 1 or 2 matches.
Yeah, I think I just think we've done all the work. I think we're prepared. I went in there confident that we were ready to go. I think I felt it early. I thought when Logan Slot got it going, that semifinal round, when you just win, you just feel the energy. So pretty early, but it was nice that there was no glitch, that everything just kept going.
You had a lot of great performances, and I think you highlight some of the individual ones. You mentioned Logan, the way he was able to just capitalize off of momentum early in this match. Kenny Kaiser, I don't want to say was the surprise of the weekend, but he was the guy that just kept going. He gets the late takedowns in the semis and the finals. Holden Hune, who wasn't ranked in the country, and you at one point didn't really know what you had with him, although you knew you had a talented guy. He wins the regional title now. He's up to number 7 in the country. Was it exceeding of your expectations, just some of those guys that maybe you had confidence in but weren't sure what the spotlight of the regional was going to be?
I believe in every single guy on my team. The guys that are putting in the work, you know that they're going to be successful. Yeah, Kenny Kaiser, even after he had lost in the duel to the UPJ Sarbo, I knew that he was right there, and he just had to keep doing what he does. And Holden, we knew how special he was, and it was nice to unleash him, and he stepped up. It was such a great team effort.
And it's reflected in the rankings this week. I know you don't like talking about it, but I do think it's important to note the number one ranking coming in by the Open Mat in the national championships. And if nothing else, just a testament to the work that you've been able to put in. And I think there's a lot of excitement just around the team. But I want to focus now on national championships because there is that little twofold aspect, right? You want as many guys at the race stage as you can on Saturday night, but you also are chasing for that team championship. What's going to be the mindset coming in terms of just wanting to have success at this national championship company?
I think this team wants to finish the job. The ranking is nice. We've followed the rankings all year, but you got to get the job done. And these guys, deep down, the energy, even this week in practice, we're not coasting. We're training. We know what we need to do, and I'm optimistic that we're going to get it done. We have performed all year, ranking or not. We've stepped up every time we've needed to step up, which is a credit to this team and the energy that my coaching staff, that everybody's put in.
I'm curious, just from a public perspective, what this week in practice looks like, because for many, it's probably you don't have anything else left to get ready for besides just doing your thing. How do you approach this week in practice?
Well, you want to stay healthy. That's the key. But, you can't shy away from the I always tell the guys, we can't be intense only in competition. We have to practice with intensity. It's not a light switch. We can't turn it on and off. So the intensity is still there. We push ourselves. But we're practicing. We're in that room. We're drilling, staying sharp. Yes, maybe we're not going to get better on specific techniques in a week, but we have to stay sharp. And we just continue to sharpen the iron.
You have a lot of guys that have returning national experience, whether it's with your team from seasons past or with other schools before they transferred here. But you look to some of your leaders, right? Jerry, this will be his opportunity for a third-time All-American. Dorian got third last year at national championships. How much do you look to them and maybe some other former national qualifiers to help those who are there for the first time?
Yeah, it's always important. It's nice to go as a group. It is, it's hard when there's only a couple people going. It's tough. So it's nice. That energy is good. You get to the national tournament, your partner's there. Having Jerry, being a two-time All-American, and Dorian been there and was successful. It's good energy for the team, and the guys will feed off that. No one on our roster is, I think they're all ready. I don't think there's any fear. I think they've all been there, done that, and they're ready to go. And now it's just about going out and executing everything that we've talked about. We talk about that, not worrying about the outcome, worrying about what we're trying to accomplish. Just go out there and wrestle. And I think the guys are ready.
I wouldn't ask you about this if I didn't want to give you a chance to talk about the people that have helped get you here. But, we've brought up the article, a great accolade for you and being the Super Regional 1 Coach of the Year. Just take me through what that means to you and the people maybe that have helped you get to this.
Well, I'm humbled by any award, honestly, and it's nice to be recognized. I mean, that's human nature to be thankful for what you receive. But truly, if it wasn't for Jeff Boyd, Zach Schaefer, Rocco Wellick, Hayden Butterfield, Jared Merritt, David Dennis, our athletic trainer, and all my alumni that have wrestled with me. Not many before me. I was there when it all started. Coach Henry, all of the people that have bound together to make this program and to continue the success, they all get a piece of this. Really, it wouldn't be possible without the commitment that everyone's given, and they've given it to me. And therefore, yes, I'm the head coach, and I get the plaque, but I truly share it with everyone that's been a part of this journey, because it's been a journey.
And to your point, your phone's been blowing up with text messages left and right.
I have a lot of alumni and a lot of friends that has supported me and that has made this possible. And I recognize each and every one of them, because truly, it would not be possible without the support and the continued, just the pat on the back, because it hasn't always gone well. You need picked up when you fall down, and the alumni have been there, and they continue to support me and my program. And again, lastly, just the guys. I mean, I have 47 awesome guys on my team, and the 47th guy on that roster has helped the number one guy on that roster, and that's a fact. And we've all come together, so I'm proud of the team just as much as any accolade I would ever get.
One of the coolest things at regionals was to see the support for Gannon specifically that you had. I mean, I felt like half the crowd was maroon and gold fans, and I imagine you'll get the same amount of support at nationals as well. That's got to be a pretty cool feat.
It really is. I mean, we had Todd Proper and Brian Martz, guys that, Brian Martz wrestled back with me way back in the dawn of time, I guess. But, we just had a great following, and those guys will be at nationals, and Coach Henry will be at national. It's just great. And all the parents support. We had a good turnout, and we'll have a good turnout at nationals.
Finish this line for me, Gannon Wrestling has success, gets close to a team championship or wins that team championship, if what?
If we execute everything that we've practiced. It really comes down to that process. We just have to go out there and do what we do.
I can only imagine you probably want to get out of here now, but you had a week, so you get a chance to prepare and get ready. Can't wait, Tom. It's going to be a great championship. Best of luck, man. I know we'll be joining you down there, but never a more exciting time in Gannon Wrestling than right now.
Yeah, the time is now, and we're ready for it. We're ready for the challenge. My guys, the energy in the room, everything about it, they're ready to go. We're fired up.
Stuff, Tom. Appreciate you.
At John Russell Hospitality, every restaurant tells a story of flavor, community, and unforgettable moments. From handcrafted meals to welcoming spaces, we bring people together around a table. John Russell Hospitality, where great food meets genuine companionship. Make sure to visit one of our 6 locations today.
All right, couple of awards and accolades to note as we continue here our UKnighted podcast, the first one in the month of March. Special thanks to Kenny Kaiser and Tom Boyd for joining us on the show ahead of their preparation for national championships. We want to highlight Women's History Month and pay homage to our current female student athletes, coaches, and administrators who have helped move our game forward, and not just that, but make our athletic department so successful. You are seen each and every single day, but we're proud to be able to celebrate you in this way in this Women's History Month of March. Again, congratulations to the great success for all of our female administrators, student athletes, coaches, and staff who move this department forward. Speaking of success, how about Addie Rothermel, the freshman base for the Gannon Acrobatics and Tumbling team, named the NCATA Freshman of the Week for the week ending March 4th. Congratulations to Addie for her tremendous accomplishment, and for Acrobatics and Tumbling, who is continuing to have great success early in the season. A couple of awards for you from the PSAC. Mia Slater named the PSAC Women's Basketball Defensive Athlete of the Week for March 2nd. Speaking of Defensive Athletes of the Week, Mackenzie Morgan for the men also being named the Defensive Athlete of the Week for March 2nd. Our Student Athletes of the Week are Maria Martinez from Women's Water Polo, who has been on a tear in her freshman season with scoring goals, and Kenny Kaiser, the aforementioned dominant performance, especially ending of matches for him. He earns our Male Student Athletes of the Week. Also want to shout out Isabella Veltre, who was named the PSAC West Athlete of the Week for women's lacrosse in a victory over Tusculum on Tuesday to move the Golden Knights to their second victory of the season. Well, as we get ready for more postseason, we talked about Bella Phillips and her getting ready to head to nationals coming up tomorrow and Saturday from Iowa, and what will be an exciting 180-pound bracket for Phillips, making history and also just getting excited for what is to come for the future of women's wrestling. In case you missed our conversation from last podcast, we feel it's prudent to play it again. Phillips' excitement for nationals, what she expects, and how this is a history-making moment for women's wrestling.
What a run, what a turnaround, and what a week upcoming for Bella Phillips, a sophomore who gets no break for spring break, but I'm sure you'd probably have it that way as you get ready to go to Iowa for national championships. First of all, congratulations. It's an incredible accomplishment, and though I know you've had national qualifiers in the past, has to mean something to you that you were the first NCAA championship qualifier to come here from Gannon Women's Wrestling.
Absolutely, absolutely. It was cool to hold the legit trophy and compete in a legit NCAA regional tournament, so it was really cool.
What was that experience like? Because we've talked about it all year, right? First year at NCAAs, It feels like it has deserved this for a long time. What was that experience like compared to last year when you were at NCWWCs?
It definitely felt a lot more intense. The regions this year were more competitive, so it was cool to be in that sort of atmosphere where this really counts.
You were talking to me about the competitiveness of the region, how every weight class you probably had 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe even 10 wrestlers that deserved to make nationals, but only 3 did. What was the challenge? Take me back to regionals and getting to the point where you were able to take the 180-pound bracket.
It was a lot of being prepared mentally for it. I know these girls want it as much as me, but it was like I wanted more. I've trained harder. I want this. So it's cool to be like, no, you're not gonna get what I want. You know, like.
Bella Phillips, the denier, is that what we're
this
calling
is
you?
This is my dream, and I'm going to make it.
The denier. You mentioned just a second ago your dream. You've been wrestling for quite a long time. For those who don't know, when did you start wrestling?
I started in 8th grade, so
Okay.
7 years.
And this has been something that I think every woman, man alike who's in this sport dreams of, is getting to the national stage. When you won, when that final whistle blew in the championship match, did it really hit you, or when did it hit you that, oh my gosh, like I'm living my dream, for lack of a better word?
It was a different experience to compare it to last year, because I also won regions last year, and this year it's felt even more important and even more. I'm losing the words, but it was like this is it. Like this is incredible that we get to be here and have these trophies and have this title. So it was just really cool to kind of sit with that.
It's historic for many reasons, because you're the first to make nationals, but you're also going to be part of the first team that got to compete in an NCAA regional competition. I know you're the only one heading to championships, but from a team perspective at the regional, what memories will you have from this season and that meet in particular, being the first, being the pioneer, the trailblazer, if you will, to get to be a part of that with your team?
Oh gosh. I was expecting more people to make it, and it was kind of, it hit me at a wrong time, being like, oh, I'm the only one. Like, everyone is on break.
Yeah.
I'm not on break, so I'm still wrestling. So it was a little bit hard to be like, oh, I'm alone in a sense in this kind of journey. But it was cool to be like, yeah, no, I'll show the girls, people coming in, that Gannon's gonna make it, and we're gonna keep showing up, and we're gonna keep making the spots.
Let's talk about the season as a whole. You're through 2 years. You're 2/3 of the way to 100 wins, and by the time we get done with national championships and you have the success we know you're going to have, you're going to be over 70, hopefully exactly at 70. That gets you a natty. Take me through how this season has been able to be as successful, if not more successful, than last year. You burst into the scene. You're a freshman. You don't know what you don't know. You make nationals. Again, winning the region last year. How have you allowed yourself to continue to follow up on that success that you started last year?
Yeah, so last year was all about ruffling the feathers. I was new to the wrestling in college, so it was like, so what can I do this year? And then this year coming in, it was like, okay, I know who I'm wrestling. I know these schools. Let's try to see what else I can put out there and see what else I can improve on. So it was cool. Obviously, we all want to win and we want to get better, but it was cool to see how that result happened on the mat.
And when you look back at the success from the beginning of the year till now, obviously it's been a year of trials and tribulations for the team. You've had some injuries, just things that have led to adversity for this team. What's been the key for you battling through that and just being able to get back to where you are today?
Yeah, this season hasn't been most optimal with injuries and whatnot. But I think it's important that I keep my circle tight with people that have the same goals as I and keep the same mentality through it. I want to be around people that want to work hard and keep working on stuff that we want to improve on. So I think that's surrounding myself with people that care has been a really important part of my success.
So let's look forward to Iowa, which in a week from now, you'll be sitting there, I'll be sitting there, although you're doing more work than I am. And the seeding comes out tomorrow. We anticipate you'll be a seed, but regardless, it's an exciting time that you'll see yourself in the bracket. What is something you're anticipating in national championship? You got a taste of it last year, but of course this is different with NCAAs.
Yeah.
What's the first thing that you're thinking of getting ready for as you start your preparation for national championships?
I think I'm just getting ready for an atmosphere that's unforgiving. So being right there and being ready for whatever. Everyone's going to be trying their best, and everyone wants it. So it's kind of being like, no, make sure that I want it, make sure I'm physically present and mentally present for the fight that's coming.
And the cool thing is you're in one of the two epicenters, arguably, of wrestling in America, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Pennsylvania is the state where traditionally wrestling dominates, but you talk about wrestling, Iowa is where it's at, right?
Mm-hmm.
The #1 team of the country, #2 by some. That's the home of the Hawkeyes, and I'm sure, to your point, the atmosphere is something you're excited for too.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you say unforgiving, take me through kind of how you see that. Is it just the ruthlessness of what national championships is going to be, the needing to not make mistakes? How do you envision the unforgiving part of national championships?
Everyone's gonna want it, and so it's like, how can I capitalize on mistakes if no one's gonna want to, like, no one's gonna try to make a mistake? Like, it's gonna be a fight, and so that's what's unforgiving about it.
In the regular season, and even really at regionals with the way you dominated, you've been able to get on top quickly, be aggressive, earn your tech fall victories if you can. What at nationals changes? Is there a strategy that you have to employ differently than the regular season in the postseason? How do you assess the style that you impose at national championships compared to other points in the season?
I think the strategy going in is to keep the same. It's been working. I'm a defensive wrestler, and I've had a lot of success like that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's like, this is it. Like, you have to give everything. So maybe there's a couple intricate scrambles or like crazy stuff that goes on, back pocket technique that will come out. But for the most part, it's like, stay true to what you know. Don't I can't change my wrestling in like 5 days. So yeah, I'm just going to keep true to who I am as a wrestler and what we know, and like Coach Aaron and I have been working on. So just kind of keeping as tranquil as possible going into it. Don't want the nerves to overwhelm.
The mental part is such a big part of it too, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
it's kind of,
Absolutely.
we say it all the time in wrestling, but I feel like the brain is 90% of your success.
Yeah.
Right? The physical nature you have to have, right? But if you're not mentally well up there, you're going to struggle.
Absolutely.
What has been the success point for you with that, in learning to dust off the challenges, making sure you're in it for all 6 minutes? How do you collect yourself mentally before and during each match?
Yeah, we put a lot of pressure on all these matches. We obviously want to win and do well. But what's helped me going into it is like, the match is going to happen no matter what. It's coming up, the bout's coming. Mm-hmm. So it's just, I have the control over my mentality going into it. So it's like, let's get that right, because the match is coming either way. So it's been like, I'm here for my team, for my parents, for all the sacrifices that coaches have made for me, all my friends, like so much has gone into this throughout the years. So it's like, this is why I'm doing it. This is why I'm here. Mm-hmm. It's coming, and I'll be ready, and I want it more.
You and Coach Aaron have a great relationship. It's who you'll be traveling with for national championships, and I know she's worked really hard with you, as you just mentioned, to get to this point. And this has been her vision too, right? Mm-hmm. Is making this a national championship contending team and national championship contending individuals. How important has that role played in just you two working together to get ready for this moment?
Yeah, she's one of those coaches that care a lot and that put a lot of passion, and this is really important to her. So I'm happy to do it with her. It's going to be a great weekend, and I know she wants it as much as I do, and it's going to be great. It's going to be an amazing end to the season, no matter really what happens. We know what we're bringing into it, so it'll be fun to see how that pans out.
So 18 wrestlers in each bracket. The top 8 become All-Americans, and so finish this sentence for me. Mm-hmm. Bella Phillips will be an All-American if?
When?
Simple as that, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you are just excited for as a whole, besides just the atmosphere in being there? What will this experience, you think, mean to you once you're done with it and through it all after Saturday?
I think it will be a great end to my first part of college. Mm-hmm. I think it's been, last year was informative. This year we
all right, cannot wait for Bella Phillips and her opportunity at NCAA championships. So looking forward to being able to cover her and, of course, both wrestlings over the course of the next 2 weeks. Bella Phillips this weekend, men's wrestling next weekend, and basketball in between there as well, between conference championships and the regional, which, by the way, the regional announcements will be on Sunday night. So stay tuned to our website and our social medias. We'll know whether or not we're hosting one or hopefully both regional tournaments coming up starting next week. So playoffs in full swing, folks, as we expect for the month of March. Hey, let's get to our top 5 plays of the week quick before we end our first episode in the month of March. These are the top 5 plays from the men's wrestling regional last week. We start with number 5 and Holden Hune, a freshman who still could be a redshirt this year based on the tournaments that he's taken part of, doing what he does best, and that's winning wrestling matches. The victory and the fall in his early match at 157 comes up with a regional championship. And what does that do for him in the rankings? Well, he goes from not ranked to 7th going into national championships. Number 4, Jake Niff at 141. This is a national championship hopeful for the Golden Knights. Little roll action for him. Earns the takedown, and he had a lot of points in his first 2 matches. He outscored his opponents 31-11 in the first 2 matches and got the victory in the final via a forfeit. So Jake Niff, one of the 7 regional champions at 141. Here's the first of 2 Kenny Kaiser top plays in our top 5. This is number 3. This is his finals takedown to win the 149-pound championship. A takedown of Matt Sarbo with seconds left on the clock. The drive, the passion, the power of Kaiser able to earn the 3 there and come up with a win. But it's not as good as this play, because if it wasn't for this number 2 on the countdown, Kaiser wouldn't even be in the championship. And that's here. Regional semifinal, sudden victory, and Kaiser able to take down his opponent midway through the first sudden victory period in what was just a gutsy effort for Kaiser, who returns to nationals after a bit of an injury hampered him earlier in the season. He looks good to roll right now. Regional champ Kenny Kaiser, again, one of 7, who took home that accolade, and one of 9 who's moving on to national championships. But at number 1, you could probably put him number 1 almost every single match. As you see again, Kaiser, and I love the background too. Hayden Butterfield, David Dennis, our athletic trainer, Coach Tom Boyd, arms extended into the air, and the clap at that. So great stuff there from Kaiser. Here's number 1. You want to guess? He comes out and he runs out to the song The Man. There's a reason why. He does teaching, he does crossing guard duty, and he pins guys at night. Dorian Crosby in the final against Freddie Redder, number 4 in the country and a lineman for the Kutztown football team. It doesn't matter. Crosby working on Redder in the final, and that is for the 2nd straight year a win by fall in the regional championship, as Dorian defends his title from a year ago and moves on to the national competition with a lot of momentum and what we hope to be a number 1 seed at nationals come next Friday. Dorian getting it done as he always does, still rocking with that unblemished record going in to the national competition at 285. Those are your top 5 plays of the week, the top 5 specifically wrestling regional successes in last Saturday's one-day tournament. Well, that's going to do it for our show tonight. Great stuff as always. Best of luck to the wrestling on both the men's and the women's side. Bella Phillips this weekend, men's wrestling next weekend as they get ready for national championships, and of course hoops in postseason action as well. Wishing our baseball, softball teams luck. Also the acrobatics and tumbling, who's in action tomorrow against the Oregon Ducks on the road. Our next show, next Thursday, same time, same place, as we get ready for what will be an exciting show back here at the UPick 6 Tap House. We're here throughout the month of March and April as we hopefully start to get some warm weather in the works over the course of the next few weeks. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. We can't wait to see you all out for more playoff action, and as the regular season continues, some spring sports action as well. Have a great rest of your evening. We'll talk to you all a little bit later on. Take care.